Hi guys, I'm back with another video. I just made myself a cup of bedtime tea. My brother actually got me this mug when he was travelling on his honeymoon, and it comes with this really cute little loose leaf tea strainer. So just enjoying my evening tea, and I thought I would make a video. So I wanted to make a video about why I chose minimalism and why maybe for you. I've had a long list of videos that I've wanted to make, but just it's a matter of time, But anyway, the reason that I decided to become a minimalist, well, there wasn't just one reason, there was multiple reasons. One was being that growing up, my mum, I guess, and my dad, they both had quite a lot of stuff, and it didn't really affect me, it didn't bother me too much. And I mean, when I say stuff, it's not like all the floors were covered with stuff. I mean, they still tidied up, they still cleaned, and they weren't like dirty or anything like that. But I mean, there was just a lot of stuff. Like there wasn't usually like a bare counter, stuff like that. There was often covered counters, and it was, when it was dinner time, it was time to lay the table, a matter of clearing the table and taking stuff off the table. And as I grew up, I just noticed that I didn't really like how I felt when I was around a lot of stuff, and that it made me feel quite anxious. So growing up, my parents would always describe me as being like a badger, and I would quite literally, very regularly, throw all of my stuff out of my bedroom just into the hallway and just leave it for someone else, because I just didn't want stuff. I mean, I liked stuff, like any child. I enjoyed gifts, and like there were things that I wanted, things I collected, but I had this pattern of wanting to minimize from a very young age. And yeah, just growing up, I just looked more into it. And then around the age of 16, when I first had a baby, I, accumulated all of this baby stuff, and it was me and my baby, and couldn't work, couldn't do a lot. So I had a lot of time to think about kind of what mattered to me and what was important, and kind of, just think about how I wanted my space to be. And that's when I first became really interested in minimalism. Excuse me. And then I ended up moving out to America when I was 18 years old. And when I was in America, obviously when I moved there, I couldn't bring a lot of stuff. So I had to really crack down on what mattered to me, what I wanted to bring. And then once I got my own home, with my first partner, I wanted to, make the most of the space, because it was quite a small apartment for us three. There was just like a living room and a kitchen, which was one room, one bedroom, and then a bathroom for all of us. So we couldn't really have loads of stuff at that point. And then after I met my second partner, who I'm now still with, and I moved in with him, he currently had roommates when I moved in. So I just had a room for myself and my daughter when I initially moved in. So I obviously could only bring limited stuff, and she was also going back and forth staying with her dad. So yeah, basically over time I just got more and more interested in it, and became really passionate about it. So to get to the point of the video, I'm going to basically describe why minimalism is for me and why it might be for you too. So if you're a person that gets very sensory, like overstimulated by like visual stuff, and you find yourself, when you walk in your house, you're just feeling overwhelmed, don't know what to do, you just walk in and you're not feeling a sense of calm, it's very likely that it is your home. Obviously, like if you have kids, that can also, like walking into a house with their kids that are like screaming isn't going to be very relaxing. But yeah, definitely when you walk into your house, you want to feel a sense of calm, You want to know where things are, you want to know what you want to grab, and you don't want to just walk in and have no idea. Oh my God, that cat. Oh my God, that freaked me out like so bad. Did you hear that? So I'm currently staying by myself in my house because my partner's in America, and my cats, oh my God, sometimes they knock things down. It literally just sounded like someone was just like opened the door and walked straight in. And I really freaked out for a second. Whew. Anyway, what I was gonna say is like, yeah, if you walk into your house and you just don't know where anything is and there's stuff all over the floor, you're hurting your toes, you're walking on toys, you don't know where any of your clothes are, there's piles of laundry, you don't know what's clean, what's dirty, like there's a good chance that minimalism is a good like thing for you. And you know, I know some people find like a sense of calm in clutter, like they kind of like nestle into their little cluttered homes, but that's definitely not for me. And I really like clear spaces, open spaces, clean counters. Like I like to be able to stretch out and move and not attach myself to items. I feel also that if you attach yourself to items, you're much more likely to get stressed out, especially when it comes to things like going on holiday and having so many clothes like that you're trying to like check on like multiple suitcases, traveling with multiple suitcases, trying to pack all of your clothes, all of this makeup, jewelry, like it just makes life so much more stressful the more stuff you have. And if you can just grow to love like a few simple outfits, a few simple products, just a few things, it really takes so much weight off you and frees up so much space for other things in life. People waste so much time getting dressed in the morning, trying to figure out what to wear, trying to pack for holidays, trying to like even like with the kitchen, when you've got like a full drawers and like you can't find the right utensil, you can't find what you want, it just wastes so much time. Now I have kids, so my house isn't perfect. My house is in a level of disarray. My main problem in my home is actually the kitchen. We've got quite a small kitchen, I would say, although some people say it's quite big, but it feels quite small because there's like a wall between the kitchen and the living room, and it feels like just kind of like a little box. And me and my partner buy a lot of food in bulk, so we are minimalists in almost every area of our life besides food. So we do bulk buy things like I don't know, like pasta and rice and stuff. We get like big bags just because it's cheaper, so we have a Costco membership. So with the pantry and the kitchen, we do find that it's quite hard to keep up food organisation, especially with that pantry because it's kind of deep shelves, so it's like hard to see everything, and I'm still working on creating a system with the food. But yeah, anyway, so point I find it really hard to keep very like straightforward blank points. I feel like I'm kind of like ADD like that, so I'm really sorry if I'm not being focused enough for you. I probably should have written like a bullet pointed list before I started the video, but I kind of just like more like chatty type videos, especially when I watch videos. I just like feeling like I can just kind of put the video on and do something and just kind of hear someone chatting away, rather than it just being really clear cut points, because then you kind of have to sit down and write everything down. But yeah, and also another reason why minimalism might be for you is cleaning. It saves so much time cleaning when you're a minimalist, because when you've got loads of stuff, say for example you want to dust your dresser, you have 1,000 makeup products spread all across your dresser, you then have to lift each product off just to clean your dresser. Whereas if you only have like a tiny bag on your dresser with a few makeup products, all you have to do is pick the bag up to dust it. Same with the floor. If your kids have like 100 toys, then you've got to pick each of those toys up just to vacuum your floor. So you're spending double the amount of time vacuuming, mopping, doing basic cleaning tasks like wiping things down, because you have to pick up so many things that you have. And that was one of the things that really annoyed me when it came to cleaning, and it really kind of just disheartened me and took away my motivation for cleaning my own house, because it just felt like, like just to sweep the floor, I have to pick up all this stuff. So then it was like, not only was there crumbs everywhere, but there was toys everywhere. And I quite literally got rid of almost all of my kids' toys because they only played with like 10% of them. Kids like things when they're new. So I just started this habit where there's a group called Life is a Gift on Facebook, and people give away free kids' toys. So I'll get some from there, let the kids play with them for a month, then pass them on, get some more toys. And that way that things are constantly being passed on, and I'm not even getting things new. So it's not like I'm feeding into the industry of just like manufacturing plastic and making shit. But, oh, I should have sworn. But, you know, it's just like a good way to keep the kids entertained but not accumulate loads of stuff. And so, yeah, I've basically decluttered every area of my life and cracked down on pretty much everything. Especially this last week, I've managed to get rid of like kind of like 3 big boxes full of stuff. In fact, I even managed to get rid of my toaster because I realised that my air fryer can make toast, and the toast is kind of crummy and disgusting anyway. Anyway, I don't have too much more to say, but all I'm here to say and do is to share why I feel like minimalism has been great for me, and it might be great for you, and getting rid of a little bit of stuff never hurt anybody.